Good evening, good people. Welcome back to Fridays by the Fire. I am your host and your absolute favorite, Sandy Best Life Jones. Happy Friday. It's so good to be back with you again for another episode. I had a really great week. Nothing spectacular happened, but every day this week really seemed to flow for me. I was in my zone at work, in my personal life. My family is great. Children are great. Grandbabies are great. And it was just a really good week. And I just feel like this episode of Fridays by the Fire is the cherry on top of my just fabulous week. So, welcome back. I'm so glad that you are here with me tonight. So, tonight we want to talk about the subject matter of there's mistakes and then there's patterns of behavior. And I need us to really sit with this tonight because sometimes as women, we keep calling things mistakes when the truth of the matter is they have become habits, they have become cycles, they have become routines and patterns that are quietly shaping our lives. Now, let me just say this up front before we get started. This is not about blaming and shaming. It's not about beating ourselves up. It's not even really about perfection. It's about being honest with ourselves. Because like if you just want to make it really simple, forgetting your keys is a mistake. Missing a turn while you're driving, that's a mistake. But constantly doing things like procrastinating, overspending, avoiding responsibility, abandoning your goals, lacking discipline, making excuses, completely ignoring your health, self-sabotaging opportunities over and over and over for years. When we do that kind of stuff, at some point we have to lovingly ask ourselves, is this a mistake? Or is this a pattern of behavior that I've become comfortable repeating? Now, you might say, well, why does it matter which one it is? Why does it matter? This is why it matters. Patterns create outcomes. Patterns shape lives. Patterns determine direction. And if we don't interrupt unhealthy patterns, they eventually become identity. So you stop saying, I struggle with lateness. And just flat out say, I'm always late. I'm just always late. Stop saying I've been inconsistent lately and just tell the truth. This is just how and who I am. That's how you disrupt the pattern. You tell the truth about the pattern. Some things are not your personality traits. Some things are unresolved, unaddressed patterns. And this is the scary part, or it can be the scary part. Sometimes we become so familiar with our own dysfunction that we stop questioning it. We just like normalize what we should have been challenging about our behavior and our choices and our decisions. We just normalize it. It doesn't even alarm us anymore. The level of dysfunction has gotten so high that we're desensitized to it. It doesn't alarm us. That's what happens when you get stuck in a pattern. So let's talk about this thing that we keep calling mistakes, because some of us are emotionally intelligent enough to recognize dysfunction in other people, but not always in ourselves. And tonight's show is really about self-accountability, not self-condemnation, but self-accountability. There are some women listening tonight who are absolutely brilliant, gifted, kind-hearted, filled with faith, but privately struggle with patterns that are draining their peace and delaying their growth. Things like chronic procrastination, which I used to suffer from. It was real bad. I could talk myself out of doing anything. I would put off for today, you know, what needed to be done today. I would put it off for weeks if I did it at all. And I started saying stuff like, well, I work better under pressure. I like the pressure. It helps me to perform. No. What I was really saying was I had developed a pattern of avoidance, and now stress had become my normal operating system. The lack of follow through, starting things and never finishing, business ideas, my workout plans, hello, budget goals, creative projects, healing journeys. I would get inspired, but then the consistency part that I needed to put into place, it disappeared when the discomfort of what I was doing showed up. So if I was endeavoring to do something and it got uncomfortable, then I would stop being consistent. And then pretty soon I would just stop doing it altogether. And so that's not a mistake anymore. When you do that over and over and over, like I used to, that's not a mistake. That's a pattern. Same thing goes with emotional spending. Buying things to soothe your emotions. Shopping because you feel overwhelmed. And for some reason, that shopping it helps you calm your nerves. That's why they call it retail therapy. There's nothing therapeutic about spending money that you don't have for things that you don't need. That's not therapeutic. That's a pattern of behavior that is delaying your growth and development. Rewarding yourself every time life gets hard. And before you know it, you got a closet full of this and a closet full of that, but the piece that you need, you cannot find. Bank account stress, child. Poor self-care. Ignoring your sleep, your water, your movement, your rest, your mental health, your doctor appointments. And then turning around and calling burnout being busy. No. That is a pattern of neglecting yourself. That constant disorganization. You lose things, you forget things. You're always running behind, living in chaos. And let me just say this. I understand that life happens. We all have moments when life is happening. But when chaos becomes your lifestyle, that's something different. Because living that way affects your confidence, your productivity. It disturbs your peace, and your credibility is questioned. Opportunities that you may have gotten slip through your fingers because people can see that you are consistently inconsistent. Let me say that again. You may miss opportunities because people can see that one of your greatest gifts is not showing up when you say you will, is being inconsistent. And so what they may want to give you this opportunity, but something in the back of their mind is saying she's not going to follow through. I've seen her do it too many times. I'm telling you, I was the queen of this. It wasn't until I turned 50 that I decided, not only am I going to start keeping my word to myself, I'm going to start keeping my word to other people. And so now I don't say yes unless I know I can follow through and get whatever I'm saying yes to, get it done. If I know I can't get it done, I'm going to tell you no. And it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter how big or small the opportunity. If I know I don't have the capacity to follow through, I'm going to tell you no. And not feel bad about it. I'm going to tell myself the truth, and I'm going to tell you the truth. Some of us have adapted to dysfunction so long that order actually feels foreign. And I think that one of the biggest reasons we struggle to confront patterns is because we think accountability means shame, but it doesn't. It's not about shaming and blaming. It's about telling the truth about what's happening in your life right now. It's about no longer getting mad about the results you didn't get from the work you didn't do. You got to tell the truth about that thing. So that's what tonight is about. Tonight is not about shaming anyone, because I have been all of these things that I'm describing to you. I have done it. I have been it. I had to be healed from it. So if you're in the thick of it right now, listen, I got you, because I've been there. But there are ways to turn this thing around. But it can't be turned around until you tell the truth about it. And stop making excuses for these patterns of behavior that are blocking you from who knows what. Because you may not see it, but the people around you see it. Your family definitely does. But even your friends and people that are close to you, people that have known you a long time, they see it. They notice the pattern. Now it's time for you to see it. It's time for you to acknowledge it so you can do something about it. So why do we repeat behaviors? Well, most unhealthy behaviors are emotional before they become behavioral, meaning that the pattern usually started somewhere deeper. For example, procrastination is often connected to fear of failure, fear of success, fear of not being perfect. So it's kind of like, instead of taking the risk of being disappointed, we delay the action. Overspending, it can be, like we said, emotionally soothing. Eating can be emotionally soothing for people. Been there. Some people are emotional shoppers. Some people overwork themselves out of emotion. So it's a different kind of behavior, but it's the same root cause. Trying to comfort ourselves without actually confronting ourselves. I think that inconsistency can come from low self-esteem, low self-trust. Maybe somewhere along the line, you stop believing in your own ability to stay committed. So now you expect yourself to quit. That's your own expectation of yourself. Oh, I'm gonna start, but I ain't gonna finish. You have that expectation of yourself. And when quitting becomes familiar, discipline is what starts to feel foreign. Overcommitting, it can come from that need to please disease. Saying yes to everything, helping everybody, showing up for everybody. Meanwhile, you are exhausted, overwhelmed, you are secretly resentful. But because you don't want to disappoint people, you keep repeating the cycle. And that secret resentment will cause sickness in your body. Ask me how I know. So this is why surface level motivation doesn't always fix deep-rooted patterns, because behavior modification without the internal reflection to go along with it usually doesn't last. That's why you can hear a sermon, you can watch a podcast, you can listen to a podcast. You can buy 12 planners, create 59 vision boards, get inspired every January, and still repeat the same cycles over and over. But y'all, listen, no shade, because I have been there. I have been there. Every January was this is my year. This is my year. I would make up some kind of rhyme to go with the year. It's 2022. What you gonna do? You know how we be doing stuff? Knowing darn well I done bought this gym membership that's gonna last about 90 days. And after that, I'm gonna tell myself, oh girl, you don't need to go to the gym. You can do it yourself. Girl, you don't need to follow no meal plan. Just use common sense. Every year, same thing, over and over and over until September 2024. I finally made the switch. And you can too. And it doesn't have to be about food. It can be about anything that has become a pattern of behavior that is stunting your growth, that is making you question how much you trust yourself, or making you incapable of trusting yourself, trusting your own word to yourself. You can break the cycle, but you got to tell the truth about it first. Information alone does not transform behavior, but awareness coupled with action will. Now let's anchor this in the scripture. Romans 12:2 says, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Notice it says transformed by the renewing of your mind, not your mood, not your intentions, not your wishes, hopes, and dreams, but your mind. Because transformation starts internally before the results show up externally. And I think this part here is where real healing begins, because once you identify the pattern, you have to interrupt it intentionally. It's not something that you can do by mistake. That interruption has to be intentional. It has to be something that you tell yourself, basically, I can't keep doing this and I'm not going to keep doing this. We're going to interrupt this pattern right here. And then you take action to do whatever you need to do to interrupt the pattern and to break the cycle. So let's make this as practical as we can, because like we said, awareness without action becomes another form of avoidance. Number one, you want to name the pattern honestly. Stop softening up everything, instead of I'm just bad with money, say, no, I have developed unhealthy financial habits. I am a spendaholic, a shopaholic, a foodaholic, whatever holic you are. You got to name it. You got to let yourself feel it so you can heal it. Name it. Name it what it is. Instead of saying I'm always late, call it what it is. I struggle with time management and discipline. Right now, I do not have the self-discipline it takes to be on time. I do not have it. But this is what I'm going to do to develop it. And then whatever you need to do, whatever help you need to go get, go ahead and do that. But call it what it is, because language matters. It's that vague language that protects the pattern, but honest language exposes those patterns. Number two, identify the trigger. Ask yourself what emotion shows up before this behavior. Right before I get ready to do this thing that I know is not healthy for me, what emotion is showing up for me? What emotion am I feeling right now before I get ready to eat this thing that I shouldn't be eating, before I get ready to make this phone call to this person that has shown me more than once that they are not for me? What emotion shows up in my body right before I get ready to buy this purse when I know I already have 5 of these purses in different colors? What emotion shows up when I know I have to be somewhere at 7 and I start getting ready at 6:30 and this place I have to be is 45 minutes away? What emotion is showing up in my body right before I make that decision that I know is going to sabotage what it is I'm getting ready to do? What emotion is showing up in me right before that? What environment feeds this cycle? Am I at home? Am I at work? Am I around my friends? Am I with my family? Am I what environment am I in that's feeding this cycle, this pattern of inconsistency? What thought pattern keeps repeating in my mind? Because if you don't identify that trigger, you're going to keep fighting the symptom, but you will never address the actual dis-ease. Number 3, stop making dysfunction your identity. This one right here, some of us have repeated certain behaviors so long that we have built personalities around them. Girl, I'm just messy. I'm just emotional. I'm just lazy. I'm just inconsistent. No. Maybe you just learned some really unhealthy patterns, but that's not who you are. It is what you are currently doing. You are being messy. You are being emotional. You are being inconsistent. You are being lazy, but that's not necessarily who you are. Or who you are permanently, because patterns can change. Yes, patterns can change. I have done it in my own life. Patterns can change. Number 4, build self-trust slowly. And this is really important. Stop trying to transform your entire life overnight. You didn't jack it up overnight, so you ain't gonna fix it overnight. This is years and years and years of these patterns that you've developed. It's not gonna go away overnight. Give yourself some time, give yourself some grace, but take action, even if it's one thing every day that you do for yourself to help you be more timely. If that means you got to sit your clothes out the night before, like I have been doing since the 6th grade, then do that. If you got to go into MapQuest and map out your trip so you know exactly where you're going and how long it's going to take you, do it. If you have to write on sticky notes and put those sticky notes all over the house so you don't forget what it is you need to do, do that. Whatever it takes. Keep your promises to yourself. When you try to transform everything overnight, that's usually when you're setting yourself up to be even more inconsistent. So start small. Keep promises to yourself. Keep promises to yourself. Keep promises to yourself. Drink the water. Take the walk. Finish the task. Clean the room. Stick to your budget. Go to bed at a certain time every night. It's those tiny acts of discipline that can help you rebuild your self-respect. And lastly, replace shame with responsibility, because shame says I'm terrible. Responsibility says I need to change this. This must change. There's a difference in that language. And some women stay stuck because shame drains the energy out of them. And you could have used that energy to help you continue to grow. But I'm here to tell you right now, God is not asking you to hate yourself, but He is asking you to grow. And when I say grow, I mean grow up. One of the hardest parts of, and this is what I found to be true, one of the hardest parts of maturity is realizing that some things in our lives won't change until we do. Not because God isn't good, and not because opportunities don't exist. It's not because people are against you, but because patterns produce outcomes. In Galatians 6:7, it says, a man reaps what he sows. Repeated behavior creates repeated harvests. I'm going to say that again. Repeated behavior creates repeated harvests. You keep sowing that not so great time management, you're going to constantly be late. It's going to sabotage what you're trying to do in your life, because people can't trust you to be where you say you're going to be at the time you say you're going to be there. You don't trust yourself, and the people around you don't trust you either. I want to encourage you tonight. Stop lying to yourself about the pattern. Don't shame yourself. Don't condemn yourself. You ain't got to do that, but you do have to tell yourself the truth, because truth is where freedom starts. And, tonight is not about fixing everything overnight. Tonight is simply about finally saying, this pattern, this cycle ends with me. Because if you continue to accept this kind of behavior from yourself, then I guarantee somewhere in your life you are accepting some unacceptable behavior from somebody else, because you want to believe that they mean well, even though they have shown you in 50,000 ways that they do not. And it may not be malicious. It just might be that's not who they are. They don't have the capability of being more and doing more than what they're already being and doing. And it's time for you to accept that. Wish them well and send them on their way. Stop feeding that dragon. Let that thing die. All right, y'all. If you don't remember anything else I said tonight, I need you to remember that patterns do not change until we do. Thank you so much for joining me tonight for another episode of Fridays by the Fire. I appreciate y'all. I really do. And in the meantime, y'all be good. Good night. God bless.
Like lace. When I was happy, had to tell my face. Smile through the ache. Then I had enough. Looked in the mirror, saw heaven in my frame. No more begging for a seat, you make sure they know my name. You said, no, don't you worry about what tomorrow holds. Birds still get their breakfast. And flowers still unfold. So I'm laying it down, this heavy little crown. If you feed the sparrow, you'll cover me now. I'm breathing again, I'm letting it go. You know what I need before I know I am enough, enough. Held in your love, your love, your love. Seek first the kingdom, love will come in time. So I trust you now, I trust you now. Lead me somehow, lead me somehow. Today is enough. Is in your hands. I used to chase to win, thought they owed me more. Tried to force the door till you open my eyes. Show me I matter. I am the prize. No more fear in the dark, no more running away. Showered with mercy, covered in grace. You know my secrets, still love who I am. So why would I panic when I'm in your plan? So I'm laying it down, this heavy little crown. If you feed the sparrow, you'll cover me now. I'm breathing again, I'm letting it go. You know what I need before I know I am enough, enough. Held in your love, your love, your love. Seek first the kingdom, love will come in time. Ooh, I trust you now, I trust you now. Lead me somehow, lead me somehow. door. It was never my door, never my door. Look at the field, look at the birds. You were faithful then, always put me first. I don't chase what fades, I choose what remains. I'm covered in grace, trusting your word, seeking your face. I am enough, enough, held in your love. Seek first the kingdom, love always comes on time. I trust you now, I trust you now. Lead me somehow, lead me somehow. Today is enough, my life is in your hands. Yeah, I'm enough, orders my steps. Yeah, I'm enough, he knows